Elizabeth May Marion Hutchison. I'm living now at the Legacy in Lafayette. It's a assisted living facility. I'm 95 years old because I was born April 14th, 1924. When I graduated from high school, I had a scholarship to Denver University, and they were having a program for nursing with Children's Hospital. At that point, nurses didn't have a degree, but this program had a 5-year nursing program with a degree. So with my scholarship, I was able to get accepted at Children's Hospital in their nursing program. So then 2 years into the program, the Cadet Nurse Corps came into being, and Francis Bolton, the Ohio senator, put the legislation in to fund the Cadet Nurse Corps. So those of us that were already in training joined the Corps. And we were inducted on May 14th, 1944 into the Cadet Nurse Corps. And at the time, I was at the University of Minnesota taking my adult training. So there was all the schools of nursing in Minneapolis and St. Paul and Iowa and North Dakota. All of us were inducted the same day into the Nurse Corps. And so they gave us these spiffy uniforms, a gray flannel for winter and a striped seersucker, blue and white seersucker for summer. And as freshmen, we got $15 a month, real money, and so could buy our white hose and shoe polish. And then as juniors, we got $15, and as seniors, we got $25 a month. And as seniors, we relieved the graduate nurses who were going into the Army and Navy. So as senior cadets, we were charge nurses in charge of wards, and just taking the place of the registered nurses.
How old were you about at this time?
And then I was 18 then. So then when we graduated, only thing we had to do was pledge we'd stay in nursing for the duration of the war. We didn't have to pledge that we'd go into service. My family was afraid that I was signing up for service, but I wasn't. I was just... So my career in nursing, I did polio nursing at Children's Hospital, and we had a 40-bed isolation hospital, and the kids were isolated for 2 weeks in the isolation hospital. And we, Sister Elizabeth Kenny from Australia came over and instructed us. At that point, the doctor's protocol was to splint these affected muscles. And Sister Kenny said, "You've got it all wrong, guys. They need to keep moving." So she had a system of hot packs and keep the motion going. So we'd have these wash machines with boiling water and put the woolen, had to be Australian woolen blankets, but we got a domestic woolen blanket bed and wrang them out and wrapped the affected muscles with the hot pack, and then put an oiled silk and another woolen pack over it. And we'd do this 2 times a day to every kid. And the response was miraculous because they'd get motion to those muscles.
Wow.
And then...
Where was this located at? What state or city were you in?
And this is in Denver.
Oh, okay. So you're back from Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota. I just did my adult medicine and surgery.
Okay.
And then if they happened to have a kid came in, well, we'd get to take care of the kid, but we were supposed to do adults there.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the kids got out of isolation, even their parents couldn't come and see them.
Mm.
Then they'd go to rehab, and Children's put a swimming pool in for them so they could have hydrotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd continue their exercises. And they put in a school, the Betcher School for Crippled Children, was across the street from the hospital. So we'd get the convalescent kids bathed and dressed and ready for school and take them across the street to school in time. So they were looking for being in the hospital for at least a year before, but their parents could come see them when they were in rehab.
Sure. Sure. And how long did you were you in that program?
And then after I graduated, I stayed doing it for 15 years altogether.
Okay.
And then thank heavens for the polio vaccine. So then at that point, I retired and stayed home to raise the family.
You were married?
And
at that point?
I had kids then.
Oh.
But I volunteered for the health department through the PTA, and we gave free immunization and health checkups to every kid in Boulder County.
Wow.
So we got them all immunized for everything free. So I volunteered there, and so I kept busy with the family and volunteering.
Mm-hmm.
So when the nurse I worked with, we had a retirement party for Mary Numa, and the director of nurses, Mary Newman, said, now that Mary's retiring, why don't you come work for us? And I said, I'd love to work for you, but I can't because I still have a boy in school. And she said, well, do you have to take him to school and pick him up? I said, oh no, he has his own car. So I went to work the next Monday, and it was a fun job because on the model of Well Baby Clinic, I set up the Well Ulster program, and for the seniors 55 and older, we did health checkups on them. We did blood pressure and reviewed their medications and listened to them. And it was, we went to all the senior centers and conducted that program. now I'm one of them.
Wow. Thank you.